just keep the police investigating. You can find lots of other stuff.
The police can just investigate the Tory, Charlotte Maguire, as well. Never investigate Labour, because they're so perfect.
It was a hit job.
The halo above the head.
It was a hit
Slipped
job.
a bit under Rayner.
Come on, mate.
A good morning for Angela Rayner. Yeah. Let's just remind ourselves, the last time she came on the show, we were obviously asking her about all the allegations against her, the 2 roofs, 2 houses, blah, blah. This is what she said.
But I'm confident and very clear that I haven't done anything wrong, and this is a smear campaign. You know, if there was a mistake, I would have, said I've made a mistake, because capital gains tax and principal private residencies are quite complex. And I've been very clear. I've said where my home was. So I've not broke any rules, and I've answered the questions.
And basically, the police have announced that there's nothing to see here. Move on. So that's it. It's over, isn't it?
Well, there's still an issue as to whether we don't know if HMRC is investigating.
Well, Labour is saying that they're not.
Labour have said, Angela Rayner asked HMRC to look into the matter, and the department confirmed to them that no capital gains tax liability was due, so no further action.
The investigation is done.
It's a smear that's collapsed. Now, the initial book which sparked it by...
Didn't mention HMRC.
No,
Didn't mention
Michael Ashcroft, who's a billionaire Tory peer, although I think...
What was it, Red Queen?
But he just had, which I think was fair enough, that she'd bought a council house or sold a council house. But then the Tory party came in with saying, oh, did she pay capital gains tax on the sale?
What the book said was, did she register her... When she went on the electoral register, was it registered correctly? Was she living with in her husband's house, or was she living in her own house? Because you've got to be correct about where you live on the electoral register. If you're not, that's against the law.
The problem for Rayner it is no longer the problem. That's the point he made. Once a smear, if it was a smear like that, is out, reputable media organisations like this have to report it. You have to report it. You have to ask questions.
And the neighbours, of course.
You want it to be cleared up, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't you, one way or the other?
Asking
various
questions.
people talked to the neighbours who said she didn't. She was living with her husband in the house. That's what the neighbours said, and they say it's a cover-up.
Asking questions is perfectly legitimate. We do it all the time. And actually, some of her answers I found, why don't you just be more clear? But, of course, you get very defensive. Why should my private life be raked over like this by the Tory party, Tory papers? I'm not answering. I'm not always sure that's
she's
the best.
The first to put the boot in on the Tories, Kevin.
The best policy.
She's the first to put the boot in.
But it's running off to the police, which is what the Tory party did. They did it with Starmer earlier, when he had a legal beer in Durham. And the police waste time and money.
Yeah, but people don't like to feel that it's one rule for everybody else and then something different for them.
Yeah, well, you can keep running to the police if you like and saying my political opponent should be investigated, and then the police aren't chasing burglars, thieves,
muggers,
rapists.
Not look into something because it might be a waste of police time?
If
there's a suggestion of impropriety.
Are you defending this because there have been 2 big police probes on Labour's leader and deputy leader?
I just think if there's a suggestion of impropriety, then isn't it quite right to look into it?
All right, you can play these political games if you like. You can play them, Charlotte, but you're wasting
political games.
I'm
just saying, if there's a suggestion of impropriety...
Listen to how angry they get, the left lot.
Isn't it right to look into it?
They charge in, investigate...
I'd say the same whoever it is, though. It wouldn't be based on any politics about it.
If the police didn't think there was anything to investigate, they wouldn't have bothered. But it took a very long time, and they investigated and decided there's no action to take. Kevin, you're the first to say if it's the Tories.
No.
Yes,
I don't run to the police. Your paper went on this day after day after day after day.
Right, too.
And, of course, what you do is you just try and go on another line of attack, because that one's failed today.
But isn't it better that the police have actually thoroughly investigated it, and now she can turn around and say, look, I have been investigated, I'm in the clear.
All right, arguably, but I still think it was a waste of... But I still think it was a waste of police.
Well, she's gone on the front foot.
But we only know that now, don't we? We wouldn't have known that otherwise.
Yeah, all right. I mean, all right. You just keep the police investigating. You can find lots of other stuff.
The police can just investigate the Tory, Charlotte Maguire, as well. Never investigate Labour, because they're so perfect.
It was a hit job.
The halo above the head.
It was a hit
Slipped
job.
a bit under Rayner.
Come on, mate. You made all these accusations, and they've been proved to be false, empty. That's what you've done.
The police did their job. They investigated the woman who could be, in 4 weeks' time, the Deputy Prime Minister, and quite right.
Well, she went on to the front foot yesterday by saying that if Labour win, they will recognise Palestine. as an independent state. What do we make of that?
Well, it's news to the Labour Party leader.
Yeah, so
that's been Labour Party policy for a long time.
It's not quite Labour Party policy, though,
may I just say,
two-party state.
It's also the policy of the UK government. It's just the UK government says when the moment is right, which is what Labour will do. When the moment is right. Now, you can argue when the moment is right.
That's not what she said, though, is it?
It's never there, but it's what she would say if you spoke to her for a longer period, rather than getting one quote and taking it out of context.
Well, that was
You've got to remember...
I'm just trying to find... She said, if Labour get into power, we will recognise Palestine, and that is all
as she said immediately, that is the UK government position as well, to recognise...
She was begging the Muslim voters. This has come from a meeting in her constituency. It appeared to me like she was grovelling.
Well, there's a suggestion she's gone beyond what Labour's position is.
Right, there's a suggestion.
And this is because George Galloway's party is standing against her. Her constituency, this is an independent Muslim.
Trying to get a few facts in here.
His party is standing against her. She's got a majority of only 4,000. Garraway won in Rochdale, which is about 12 miles from her constituency, so she is fearful of the Muslim vote turning against her, which is why she was begging those Muslims in her constituency in that meeting, which was filmed and leaked.
Ireland, Spain and Norway all recently...
We're not Ireland, Spain or Norway.
You've just got to learn something here. They all recognised recently, much to the irritation and hostility of the Israeli state.
Are
they anti-Semitic? Are you saying they're anti-Semitic?
Because we're talking about the Deputy Prime Minister. It's nothing to do with Norway, Ireland or Spain.
Because you just go down a little narrow road that doesn't really take you anywhere.
What is it about Rayner and you?
Because we're just talking about what she has said in comparison to what Labour have said about their position.
Ed Miliband, who has Jewish heritage, it was the position when he was Labour leader. I mean, I'm sorry, it's just like everything is not just fresh and new. There are, there is often history of these
He's struggling today.
Well, let's talk about another controversial...
it is.
He's struggling today.
I prefer facts and understanding.
You're struggling, mate.
It's an election.
Yeah, but that's why on this...
But
listen, it's such a highly emotive issue that semantics matter, don't they?
Of course it's a highly emotive issue.
You know, if her position varies slightly, if the words are slightly different to what the official position is,
though, it is important. Deputy Prime Minister. She'll be Deputy Prime Minister.
Labour's position is to recognise Israel, just as the UK Foreign Office position is. It's just when.